Hi, Mike.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good. Yeah, a little tired, but good.
Okay, good to hear. What I want to start with is you played a surprise gig here in Amsterdam in Vondelpark, but you do this everywhere. Do you miss your busking days?
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason I do it. I was busking for 5 years, I think, before Let Her Go and everything sort of got bigger. And yeah, you know, I really miss those days. It's easy to look back on them with a sort of with rose-tinted glasses and think, oh, it was so romantic, it was so amazing. There were definitely some hard times when it was busking, you know. But yeah, I still love playing in the street for people who want to come down and have a listen. Yeah.
Because obviously now you play in big halls. I think just now you upgraded your Heineken Music Hall show to the Ziggo Dome. So what is it about busking that makes it so fun for you?
I think it's a few things. I love the honesty and the simplicity of it, you know, just the fact that you don't have to buy a ticket, you don't have to be a certain age. There's no barriers, literally as well, there's no barrier between me and the audience. And it's just direct and spontaneous. And I think it's really special for people as well. There's less pressure on me as well. It's not like a gig where people have paid €50 to come along and they've been waiting for months and there's expectation. Busking is like, you know, if it rains, it rains. If you know, if it's half an hour cool, if it's an hour cool, no one really minds. So it's nice and relaxed, yeah.
And in those 5 years you mentioned, what is the one thing you took away from that period that is essential for what you do now?
Just to be humble. Busking for me started because I had no money and I had no way of getting my music to people. So busking seemed to be a good way of sorting both of those problems out. But actually, before long, it became a real way of life.
Sure.
And taught me so many life lessons. And every day when you're busking, there can be other aggressive buskers, there can be policemen, there can be shopkeepers, there can be all sorts of challenges. And actually I found if you're aggressive back, if you're confrontational back, it's a mess. If you're just calm, nice to everyone, and doing your thing, it works out a lot better. So I think that was a massive lesson, yeah.
And there's one thing I wrote down because you posted a photo about your show on Facebook, I believe. And you wrote beside it, it's been a weird couple of days one way or another, but this really cheered me up. Without prying too much, what kind of was?
I mean, I think Brexit is a massive issue for probably everyone in Europe, let alone being British as well.
Sure.
It's kind of shaken everyone, and I think there's a lot of sad and angry people about it, and I'm one of them. Also, I busked in Paris the day before, and it wasn't such a good turnout, and we travelled a long way to get there, and there was only a few people. So it'd just been kind of a challenging day, both personally and on a sort of larger scale as well. So to play to so many people and to have such a beautiful gig in Vondelpark was exactly what the doctor had ordered, yeah.
Okay. And that excitement that you get from a show like that, is that the same as when you started and with busking? Do you still get the same excitement?
Oh yeah, and I get nervous even for busking, yeah. But it's a different thing, you know. Back in the day when I was busking, I'd turn up and just start playing and hopefully a crowd would gather slowly. Now, Vondelpark was like a festival, you know.
Sure.
You go out and there's 3,000 people there. It's not always like that, but it is a different thing. We have to be in touch with the local council and we have to arrange everything because we have a PA and we have to set up for 2 hours beforehand. And so it's definitely different. But I feel like as long as the attitude remains the same and the idea remains the same of like just playing music for people who want to hear it, then it really doesn't matter how big or small it is. It's more about just the doing of it, yeah.
Is the same then true for songwriting as well? That no matter who you play for, as long as the song gives you the same?
How do you mean? Sorry.
In the sense because you say, well, whether it's a big crowd or a small crowd doesn't matter. So for you, the satisfaction that you get from songwriting is that inherent to the songwriting itself?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, the writing is the biggest. Is the reason I do any of this. You know, like I write so much. This is my 8th album coming out now, and I love writing, and I get such a buzz from it. And you know, the touring and everything else kind of follows on from the writing. The writing is the center of everything. Yeah.
And well, it's interesting because in the you say you're on album 8. It's pretty much been a release every year and a half. So what keeps the fountain of inspiration going, so to say?
I think traveling has a massive effect on the writing. I think always being in a different place, different surroundings, different people, out of your comfort zone, really helps the creative process. Yeah, and I just write all the time, especially on the road. I always have a guitar in my hand anyway because I'm doing busking or radio station or something, and just ideas seem to keep on flowing. And yeah, an album a year is it's a lot of work to keep on keep on that rate. So I think it might slow down a little bit in the next few years, but for now it's working. Yeah.